Chosen one. People want to know how you made it out the valley of death. It's unhuman how you recover. Someone out there can't comprehend how you survived what was designed to destroy you. What they don't understand is that you weren't saved by luck. You were carried by divine force. Every time they thought you were finished, God whispered, "Not yet." Now the same people who mocked your pain are obsessing over your power, realizing too late that your survival story was your greatest revenge. This person must work for the enemy. The level of dedication to your downfall is unhuman. Every time you post something, this individual is the first person viewing it, the first person watching, and this person tries their hardest to put you in messed up situations, always digging. Always somewhere digging a ditch, and then going to hide and wait for you to fall in. But every trap gets avoided, every pit gets walked around, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do it and why it's driving this individual crazy. Because what I'm seeing about you is something never encountered before, something that defies every law of nature understood by human minds. Watch this. Someone is running ahead of you, plotting where you're going and what you're doing, digging this hole, putting in that work. Remember, putting in overtime to dig this hole perfectly, covering it with leaves. It looks like solid ground. You come along completely unaware, but then something happens. Right before you step into that trap, you stop. You hear guidance. There's a guidance that comes to you, and you go a different direction. You stop right at the hole, and then you make this left turn. You don't even take the next step. You don't even fall into the hole. And even when a bad circumstance gets created, even when it seems like you're in the trap, it somehow works for your good. Somehow it turns around. And this is what's making certain individuals foam at the mouth with rage, because the understanding of what you're made of remains elusive. Stay with me, because this is deep. In ancient wisdom and esoteric traditions, the salamander is the elemental spirit of fire. Ancient mystics believed salamanders could live in flames without being burned. This symbolizes the soul's ability to endure spiritual trials and emerge purified. This is how certain people feel about you. The feeling exists that someone could set you on fire and you would survive. You would ultimately emerge purified, like you've been through so many spiritual trials and you just emerge more refined every single time. The salamander teaches that through facing the fires of life, through hardship, through awakening, you are refined and made stronger. No matter what you go through, you come out stronger, more resilient, more beautiful, more powerful. The desire exists to attack you and make you a victim. The intention is for you to stay down, but you never do. You come out even more powerful than before. You understand what I'm saying? In the natural world, salamanders can regenerate limbs and tails. Do you understand how profound this is? This is how certain people feel about you. Like if someone cut off the salamander's limb, it would regrow it. This is the perspective on you. Everything has been tried, and everything you've been through, you just can't be stopped. The feeling practically exists that you're immortal, because you're not aware of all that's been attempted against you, all the things certain individuals are responsible for. You don't know the half of it. I'm seeing somebody like in the movies where a car accident happens or something occurs and the car blows up. People think someone is dead, but then through the smoke comes a figure walking forward. That's your energy. That's what you do. This makes you a powerful force for rebirth and regeneration after loss or trauma. No matter what you go through, you regenerate. You're reclaiming your power. You can rebuild yourself even after being burned by life. The feeling exists that no matter what you go through in life, you can rebuild. No matter what happens, you always come back 10 times stronger. This is powerful. You're somebody that's balanced, somebody that is a master of transformation. This is giving me chills right now. The perception exists that you have an ability to be protected from harm. Your inner power is something never witnessed before. Your ability to survive and adapt through changing conditions is something never experienced by those watching. You've been protected during intense spiritual change. You have a hidden resilience or power that is awakening right now, and through it all you come out, through all the betrayals, all the heartbreaks, all the suffering, all the grief, you always come out whole, like in one piece. You always come out crowned, like a winner, like the victor. You're the victor. You always have some type of breakthrough. You're always being blessed. You're always being crowned. That's the perception, like you're a winner. All you do is win. That's it. This is what certain individuals know you for. All you do is win. You wear that pain like a badge of honor. You wear those trials and those struggles like a badge of honor. You come out more refined, like you were built for this, born tough. This is something I've never seen before, some energy I've never encountered before, and these could be people from your childhood, people you left behind, people from back home. Nothing like this has ever been witnessed, never. Like all you do is win, 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 no matter what. And every time you step up in the building, everybody's hands go up, and the hands stay there. You cannot be held down. You cannot be contained. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere because we can't be stopped now. You are in the most messed up predicaments. People see you in the most difficult situations, down and out, people feeling like feet are on your neck, and then the regeneration happens. Regeneration. We just talked about the salamander and its ability to lose its leg and regenerate, for it to come back. This is the perception of you. Like, are you even human for real? Who are you? Are you God walking in the physical? Are you even human? I'm onto you. I'm onto you. This is your energy. Rebirth. For some, this could be a situation where the feeling exists that there's something about you that is just beyond comprehension. Like, what are you on? What are you doing? How do you do this? How do you regain control after being in the worst situations? How? See, certain people were trying to steal. Somebody was trying to steal your zest for life. The attempt was made to steal your joy, your confidence, your courage, your determination. The desire existed to put you in an energy of not wanting to live. You understand what I'm saying? And somebody's under judgment for that. The understanding doesn't exist for how you do it. How do you go from nothing to something? How do you get back on top? How do you do this? The answer is coming. But first you need to understand the magnitude of what certain individuals thought had been accomplished. I'm really getting this energy of how do you go from nothing to something. It's the thinking that you were down and out. The belief existed that you were stuck. The assumption was made that you had been brought to a point where giving up was inevitable. This was false success. The assumption was wrong. The belief existed that it would be your end. Wrong. Now the transformation is visible. See, the thought was that an end had been put to you. These are people who thought complete ruin had occurred. The belief existed that your foundation had been ruined. The very thing that you stand on had been destroyed, not understanding that you stand on God. The thought was that destruction had occurred there. If this message awakened something within you, hype this video for other chosen ones who need to hear this. And certain individuals live from scarcity, living from lack. These are people who don't have the trust that you have in the universe and God. These are those people. The question exists about how you do it. How did you get back on top? How did you do this? This is a victory. How did you get back on top? This could be fame and fortune for some of you, a victory at completing some type of cycle. You've been through lifetimes of this. You're not new to this trial and tribulation. You're true to this, through the fire. Now watch what happens when you understand the process, when you really get what's been happening behind the scenes. Certain individuals thought attacks were random. The belief existed that just chaos was being caused. But what wasn't realized is that every single attack had a purpose in the divine plan. Every setback was actually a setup. Every loss was actually positioning you for gain. Think about when you lost that relationship, the one you thought was everything, the one you cried over, the one that broke your heart into pieces. Celebration happened in certain circles. The thought existed that this was your breaking point. The belief was that recovery from that kind of heartbreak would never happen. But look at you now. That loss taught you what real love looks like. That pain showed you what you would never settle for again. That ending created space for something better to enter your life. Or what about that financial collapse, when everything fell apart, when you lost what you had built, when you went from comfortable to struggling? Watching happened and smiling occurred. The thought was that you had finally been gotten. The belief existed that poverty would be your prison. The assumption was made that lack would be your permanent address. But you took that loss, and you learned how money really works. You discovered streams of income never taught before. You developed a relationship with provision that can never be shaken again. And let's talk about that health crisis, when your body was failing, when the doctors had no answers, when you were lying in that bed wondering if you would make it. Funeral planning was already happening in certain minds. Division of what you left behind was already occurring in imagination. You had already been written off as finished, but your recovery shocked the medical professionals. Your comeback defied the statistics. Your healing became a testimony that science couldn't explain. This is what I mean when I say your recovery is unhuman. Because humans stay down when life knocks them down. Humans give up when things get too hard. Humans accept defeat when the odds are stacked against them. But you're not operating on human strength. You're not functioning on natural ability. You're not moving by human power alone. There's something else working in you. There's a force that certain people didn't account for. There's a power that calculations didn't include. And that power is what keeps bringing you back from the valley of death. That power is what keeps resurrecting you from situations that should have buried you. Your pattern is being studied now. History is being reviewed, trying to find the formula. Every comeback is being analyzed, trying to discover the secret. The desire exists to know what vitamin you're taking, what ritual you're doing, what practice you're maintaining. The thought exists that there has to be some external trick, some hidden advantage, some unfair blessing. But the truth is simpler and more profound than can be grasped by those watching. You've learned how to die, not physical death, spiritual death, the death of ego, the death of pride, the death of the false self. Every time life brings you to your knees, you don't fight it, you don't resist it, you surrender to the process. You let the old version die, you allow the outdated identity to be buried, you release who you used to be so who you're becoming can emerge. That's the secret, never to be understood by those searching. That's the key, never to be found, because too much time gets spent trying to preserve self. Too busy protecting image, too busy maintaining reputation. Letting go can't happen, surrender can't occur, death to self can't be accepted. And that's why regeneration like yours can't happen for them. You've mastered the art of the phoenix, burning down to ashes and rising again. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over again. Each time you rise different. Each time you come back stronger. Each time you regenerate wiser. And here's what's really driving certain individuals insane. Your smile, your peace, your joy in the midst of the fire. The desire exists to see you broken. The wish is for you to be bitter. The hope is for you to be angry and defeated and hopeless. But instead, smiling is what gets observed. Praising is what gets witnessed. Gratitude is what gets displayed. Celebration, even while still in the battle, is what gets seen. How do you have joy when depression should be present? How do you have peace when anxiety should be consuming you? How do you have faith when fear should be dominating? That's what's being asked. That's what can't be comprehended, because circumstances are being looked at by others. But you're looking at your covenant. Focus on the problem exists for them, but you're focused on the promise. You know something others don't know. You see something others can't see. You understand something never to be grasped by those watching. The valley of death is not your destination, it's just your transportation. It's not where you're staying, it's where you're passing through. It's not your home, it's just your tunnel. And every person who's ever made it out of a valley knows this truth. The valley is where you get strengthened for the mountain. The valley is where you develop muscles needed for the climb. The valley is where character is built, where faith is tested, where warriors are made. The desire existed for the valley to be your grave, but God is using the valley as your training ground. The intention was for it to bury you, but it's actually building you. The wish was for it to finish you, but it's actually preparing you for what's next. Let me show you something else about your recovery that's supernatural. It's not just that you survive, it's how fast you bounce back. Normal people take years to recover from trauma. Normal people take extensive time to rebuild from loss. Normal people need extensive therapy and medication and intervention just to function again after crisis. But you're back on your feet in record time. You're functioning at high levels while still healing. You're building while still recovering. You're winning while still processing. That's not normal. That's not natural. That's not human. That's divine acceleration. That's supernatural speed. That's heaven fast-tracking your recovery, because there's an assignment waiting for you. There's a purpose that can't be delayed. There's a mission that needs you operational immediately. The expectation existed that the valley would take you out for years. The thought was that being stuck in recovery mode indefinitely was certain. Next moves were planned, assuming you'd be absent from the battlefield. But you came back faster than expected, stronger than calculated, more powerful than imagined. Now scrambling is happening. Now confusion exists. Now the attempt is being made to figure out what happened. How did you heal so fast? How did you recover so quickly? How did you get back in the game when sideline status should still be your reality? And while questions are being asked, you're taking territory. While attempts to understand your last comeback are happening, you're already preparing for your next level. While analysis of your past continues, you're already building your future. This is what dominance looks like. This is what authority sounds like. This is what power moves like. You don't explain yourself to your enemies. You don't justify your recovery to your haters. You don't prove your healing to your doubters. You just keep moving. You just keep rising. You just keep winning. You just keep rising. You just keep winning. You just keep rising. You just keep winning. And every time you win, it's another testimony. Every time you rise, it's another miracle. Every time you recover, it's another proof that God is real, and heaven backs you, and divine favor covers you, and supernatural power flows through you. Transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage. This is how you do it. Because when you're called to leave some stuff behind, you just do it. You just got to do it. This is just what you got to do. Sometimes when things aren't working and things seem to keep going wrong and it's all messed up, you just got to put your faith in God where it belongs and just let it all go. Let it all go. Release it all. Let it all go. And this is the observation happening. Looking back at all you've been through, this is what this is. Reviewing everything you've been through, and the question emerges, how did this person overcome it? Everything is being examined. The salamander energy again. How did this happen? The feeling exists that all you went through should have killed you. It should have took you out. You're seen as a new person right now. Like this is how people see you. You're seen as a new person out here in these streets, a new person. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show. How? The question everybody wants to know is, how did you get through it? You went through the tower, and if you don't know what the tower represents, this is uncontrollable change, destruction, but only to create beauty out of the destruction. You could have been a mess, you could have been a wreck, you could have been losing weight, losing hair, bags under your eyes. You could have went from being dressed nice to looking a mess, driving nice cars to walking. Your life just completely took a turn, and you were in chaos. You could have been homeless. You could have been from pillar to post. Shelter, here, 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 here. This could be what you're going through now, but the question exists about how you caught your footing. How did you rebalance yourself? How did you do it? I'm telling you, that's the only thing I can answer. God, that's how you did it. Nothing but divine intervention. God is how you did it. Nothing but divine intervention. God is how you did it. Nothing but divine intervention. God is how you did it. 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 That power on the inside of you is how you did it. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. But beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. You see the waves, the chaos. You see the boat. It's making me think about when the teacher was in the boat and sleeping occurred while the disciples were around. Wake up, there's a storm. The storm was raging, the storm was raging. And the teacher was like, calm down, because the knowledge existed that power and ability to silence the storm was present. Let's get into that. The disciples were told that day when evening came, let us go over to the other side. Leaving the crowd behind, the teacher was taken along just as present in the boat. There were also other boats present. A furious squall came up and the waves broke over the boat. You see how the waves look? The waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. The teacher was in the stern sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke the teacher and said, "Don't you care if we drown?" And basically the teacher got up and calmed the storms and told them, "Don't you have any faith? Oh, you of little faith." That's how you got through it. It was nothing but your faith. It was nothing but your faith in the midst of it all. So now observation is happening. Attempts are being made to figure out how the hell did this person do it? How the hell did coming out evolved happen? Developed, grown, you came out transformed, you evolved, you went through stages, you came out. The process has to go through 3 stages: the turning, the pressing, the beating, just for it all to flow. You went through all that because your greater was coming. You came out on the other side better, more beautiful, more abundant, more loving. You've been crowned. You went through your darkest hour. That's what you did. You went through your darkest hour. You listened. You sought for wisdom. You sought for guidance. And you listened. And this is how you became who you are today. This is how you became who you are today. You went through nights of being alone, feeling lost. Fars. You know when you think about somebody that's out in the mountains where the wolves are, and it's cold and being all by yourself with no humanity. That may be physically, but you could feel like that internally. You could feel like that being in the city. Feel like you're out with the wolves and you're all by yourself and you're all alone. So you basically took it up with God. It was just you and God. Now attempts are being made to figure out how you got this. Some people could be asking how you got this victory, how you got this success, how you got this breakthrough, or simply how you got out of the situation you were in. How are you back on top? I feel like the news person, like somebody's asking, yeah, the last we heard about you, going through this happened, going through that occurred. How did you get this? How did you get back on top? You know how asking happens to people who overcame. Yeah, going through all that happened. This, that, and the third. How did getting out of it happen? How did getting back on top occur? Nothing but the power. You're coming out of something. You're coming into harmony. You're coming out of something, and you're coming into harmony. The worst couldn't get any worse for you. The question exists about how coming out of this crisis happened. So it's like going through some type of life crisis occurred. The thought existed that you were done. This is what it was. The belief was that you were done. This was just making you more of a master. These people, the understanding doesn't exist. The comprehension isn't there. The question is what? Who are you? What are you? The knowledge doesn't exist. Now you have so many opportunities. This is the energy of mastery. Mastering something, mastering self, transformation, 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 transformation. When you look back over your life and you see all that you've been through and all that God has pulled you through, you should truly be able to say that I am blessed. This is a powerful spiritual confirmation. It combines energies, spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, enlightenment, new beginnings, ambition, positive progress. It's a new beginning, it's a new day, it's a new life, and you're feeling good. This is why you're coming out of hardship, you're recovering financially, you're improving, your life is getting better, you're improving, you've overcome so many challenges. Continue to plan, continue to move forward, continue to trust, continue to have faith. You're moving toward your destiny, you're discovering more of your destiny, your influence is growing, your voice is getting louder, your platform is expanding. The same people who tried to silence you are now forced to hear you. The same people who tried to diminish you are now watching you shine. The same people who tried to limit you are now seeing you soar, and it's eating alive those who watch, because the thought existed that when being pushed into that valley happened, disappearing would occur. Becoming irrelevant would happen, fading into obscurity would be certain. But instead, the valley gave you a message, the valley gave you authority, the valley gave you a testimony that cannot be denied. Now when you speak, people listen, not because of your credentials, not because of your title, not because of your position, but because you've been somewhere others are afraid to go. You've survived something others couldn't handle. You've overcome what would have destroyed others. Your recovery has a purpose beyond yourself. Your healing has an assignment attached to it. Your comeback has a calling connected to it. You didn't make it out just so you could be comfortable. You made it out so you could be commissioned. You didn't survive just so you could be safe. You survived so you could be significant. And observation is about to happen regarding what occurs when someone who's been through hell becomes a weapon in the hands of heaven. Witnessing is about to occur regarding what happens when someone who's tasted death becomes a carrier of life. Experience is about to happen regarding what occurs when someone who's walked through the valley becomes a guide for others. You're not just recovered, you're recruited. You're not just healed, you're hired. You're not just restored, you're reassigned. And the assignment is bigger than the attack. The calling is greater than the crisis. The purpose is more powerful than the pain. Your story is becoming a bridge. Your testimony is becoming a ladder. Your recovery is becoming a roadmap for someone else who's still in their valley, someone who's still in their darkness, someone who's still wondering if making it out is even possible. And when that person sees you, when that person hears your story, when that person witnesses your recovery, hope gets reignited, because you're living proof that valleys don't last forever. You're walking evidence that death doesn't have the final say. You're breathing confirmation that God still performs miracles, and your very existence is a threat to the lie that says once you're down, you're out. You're disrupting that narrative. You're destroying that limitation. You're demolishing that ceiling. And every step you take forward is creating a path for someone else to follow. Every level you reach is proving that level is reachable. Every breakthrough you experience is demonstrating that breakthrough is possible. But your story can't be copied. Your journey can't be duplicated. Your recovery can't be manufactured, because it was custom designed by divine hands for divine purpose. It was orchestrated by heaven for heavenly assignment. It was crafted by God for kingdom impact. And now you carry a message that can't be argued with. You possess a testimony that can't be debated. You walk in an authority that can't be questioned, because you didn't read about it, you lived it, you didn't study it, you survived it, you didn't theorize about it, you came through it. This is your weapon, this is your arsenal, this is your ammunition, and every time you open your mouth to share what God brought you through, chains break. Every time you testify about how you made it out, prison doors open. Every time you declare the goodness of God in the land of the living, dead things come back to life. You made it because you were chosen. You recovered because you were covered. You survived because you were destined. You rose because you were called. You won because you were anointed. And nothing done, nothing tried, nothing plotted could ever override what heaven ordained for your life. Watching is still happening, wondering still continues, attempts to figure it out persist, but while analysis of your past continues, you're already building your future. While questions about how you did it are being asked, you're already doing more. While being lost in confusion is their reality, walking in clarity is yours. Because you're not who you used to be, you're who you were always meant to become. The person who walks through fire, the soul who regenerates after destruction, the spirit who rises after every fall, the champion who wins after every battle. All you do is win. That's your testimony. That's your reality. That's your destiny. And just like that salamander, just like that elemental spirit of fire, you will continue to walk through flames and emerge purified. You will continue to lose limbs and watch them regenerate. You will continue to face death and experience rebirth. This is your nature. This is your essence. This is your calling. And no weapon formed against it will ever prosper. No trap set for you will ever succeed. No plan made against you will ever prevail. You don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just endure, you overcome. You don't just make it, you dominate. You don't just recover, you reign. That's how you made it out the valley of death. That's why your recovery is unhuman. That's the answer to the question. Divine power, spiritual protection, supernatural favor, destined purpose, and a faith that refuses to quit. Now walk in it, own it, embody it, demonstrate it, because the world is watching, the enemy is watching, heaven is watching, and observation needs to happen regarding what occurs when a chosen one stops playing small and starts walking in the fullness of who creation designed them to be. You're not coming out timid, you're coming out powerful. You're not coming out broken, you're coming out whole. You're not coming out defeated, you're coming out victorious. You're not coming out as a survivor, you're coming out as a conqueror. And that's exactly what has certain individuals losing their minds, because everything was thrown at you, and you're still standing. The best shot was taken, and you're still winning. Being counted out happened, and you came back counting blessings. Your eulogy was written, and you rewrote your destiny. So let the overtime continue, let the ditch digging persist, let the trap setting carry on, because every single thing done is just adding to your testimony, every attack is just adding to your anointing, every battle is just adding to your authority. You've been through the fire and came out golden. You've been through the storm and came out stronger. You've been through death and came out destined. And now nothing can stop what's coming for you. Nothing can block what's flowing to you. Nothing can prevent what's prepared for you. The valley of death couldn't hold you. The shadow of death couldn't keep you. The threat of death couldn't break you. Because you carry resurrection power, you walk in regeneration authority, you operate in restoration anointing, and you're just getting started. The best is yet to come. The greatest is still ahead. The highest is still in front of you, because you didn't just survive to tell the story. You survived to live the glory. Walk in it, chosen one. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. And everything that tried to destroy you just became the foundation for everything that's about to elevate you. All you do is win.